So good morning. So what is the most powerful tool for clearing a double-terminated quartz crystal, a Vogel crystal? So Dr. Marcel Vogel researched the effect of cutting crystals to a specific shape. So I display that crystal in my Vogel crystal series on my YouTube channel, so please check that out there. So how to clear a crystal? So first of all, a crystal has a matrix or lattice structure inside of it. It's actually got its own structure, like everything around us has its structure. But we have to be aware that there are actually verified ways of clearing a crystal, the most powerful of which is our consciousness. As we observe, we direct energy, okay? So our consciousness is the most powerful thing to affect the matrix of life. So when we direct our focused consciousness toward a crystal with the intention of clearing, we can completely reset its energetic programming. This happens because our consciousness acts like a purifying wind that removes anything not aligned with the crystal's original frequency. So as we were saying, each crystal has an original frequency. Specifically, this double-terminated quartz cut specifically in the way that a Vogel crystal is cut. So there are certain vital conditions that have to be met, right? Your mind has to be clear, not empty, just clear, right? That's a different thing. Just as, you have a clean space and there's less distraction, right? So when you have a clean heart and a clean mind, the thoughts and emotions are structured and organized. The heart and brain is synchronized. You produced coherence. This is what we're talking about. So it has to be as coherent as clean spring water, as the structure of the molecules in spring water that are in harmony with the chirping of the birds and seated in a really beautiful spot. So that's kind of the state in which we have to be. So if your mind is troubled or is filled with distracting thoughts and emotions, or we're just not synchronized in our heart and brain, then what will happen is those thoughts and emotions will actually transfer into the crystal, right? Just as the Emoto's work on water his studies on water and the effect of thoughts, words, even music showed that there is actually an effect that certain types of frequencies produce, right? Affecting the structure of the water, from coherent, ordered, and beautiful to just murky, grotesque. So there are things that we have to be aware of, right? Our thoughts, our emotions, the energy we put out, the electromagnetic frequency of our heart and brain actually has an effect on ourselves and on others. In other words, your thoughts and emotions have an impact. So for optimal results, well, we'll talk about that next. So for optimal results, or results that are conducive, put your consciousness in a state of synchronicity and coherence. And you can draw on tools if you need to. You can use a 4096 Hertz app on your phone, which, turn off the Wi-Fi so that there's no interference, and use that to clear the crystal. There are devices you can buy that produce that specific Hertz range specifically, without the need for Wi-Fi turning off or anything like this. So these are tools you can use to clear the crystal, and the crystal will actually feel different. So the technology and technique facilitates the process, but it's your conscious intent that ultimately empowers the clearing. So developing this level of mental clarity takes practice through regular meditation. As you cultivate a more coherent state, you'll be able to better program the crystal, and that will improve over time. So I'll be doing more of these videos about what works and what doesn't work. Of course, I've covered most of it here. But there are limiting effects that things like burning sage with the crystal only really touches the surface of cleansing. These are the recommendations from people who have used Vogel crystals, such as the research with Marcel Vogel, his student Dan Willis, and others. Having the crystal bathed in moonlight also only does so much. What else? Obviously, burying the crystal in the earth is not a good idea because of the minerals in the earth and how it will actually erode the crystal. It'll impact the crystal, right? Bathing it in sunlight. All of these different things are techniques that cleanse the crystal only to a certain degree. And the thing that is shown to be most effective is one's consciousness in meditation, or using one's breath as well, synchronized, coherent state, and using 4096 hertz range. There's equipment you can buy, but it's expensive in order to clear the crystal. But what I've described to you thus far about how to do it, how to tune the crystal. So one thing you can do, you can hold the crystal and meditate, and when you feel calm and centered, you can imagine a white light filling the crystal. This takes time to occur, so you want to just allow this to naturally happen. So there's that you can do too. So I might produce a series of videos about this, but in general I've covered what I need to cover. So just rewatch, and as always, like, subscribe and follow. Wishing you the best. Peace.